Our game for today is Sound Dodger. Sound Dodger is a rhythm game. It's available over on Adult Swim Games, has a pretty extensive list of songs, and it's free.
So initially, when I booted up Sound Dodger, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, Adult Swim. I really hope this is on the iOS because immediately I kind of got hooked. To my
I kind of figured you might get hooked on this.
Yeah. To my disappointment, though, it's not on iOS just yet, but I have a feeling it's a simple enough game, so I'm sure I'll see it soon.
Yes, I can definitely see this working very well with a touch screen. I could see it doing really well on the DS or the 3DS too, with a stylus control. That'd be really easy to do.
Mm-hmm. So let's dive into some of the features of this game, shall we?
So yes, Sound Dodger. The structure of this game is that you play a song, and during that song, to the beat, things will attack you. It's basically a bullet hell shmup as a rhythm game, and you're a little dot, and your goal as the dot is to avoid all of the things coming at you that will try and stop you. And your score at the end of the level is determined by how good you were at dodging things. And the only real ability you have is the ability to temporarily slow time to navigate through the bullets that are being fired at you, but you don't gain any score during that period of time while you're slowed down. So I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite games that we've done for this so far. It gets hard pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even your 2-star difficulty songs, when you start getting into those, it gets quite a bit challenging, which for a rhythm game is pretty surprising. I like rhythm games, and I generally consider myself to be pretty good at them, but this is pretty difficult really early, and I would suspect that getting into more difficult areas and more difficult songs, it gets way, way harder.
Yeah. At first, I was getting disoriented because you have the spheres on the outside of the level that are rotating or revolving around the battlefield, essentially. And so when everything's rotating counterclockwise, for some reason, I would start to think myself, me, the little ball, the protagonist, I guess, if you can call him that.
The protagodot.
The cursor was also rotating, but then I realized, no, he's stationary regardless of everybody else's orientation, unless you move him or it. So I had some disorientation there. Also, I tried different tactics to try to stay alive, and nothing really seemed to work for me. I'm glad that this game isn't built off of, like, you have X amount of lives to get through a level.
Yeah.
I tried following the circles where the bullets shoot out of, and that didn't really seem to help me at all. Because you can see the recharge on them, and it lets you know when they're going to shoot out more. So I figured, okay, if I can jump between the circles that are really low and haven't reloaded yet, that'll, I can live a lot longer, and that was completely wrong.
Another thing I'd like to say about this one is that it has very slick animation. And it's really nice. And it's really subtle too. Like, you notice if you move your main dot around, it actually has a little bit of distortion to it when you get it moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it compresses and expands and stuff. And when you're just doing geometric shapes, that's kind of a nice touch, because it gives your little dot a little tiny bit of character, and that's a nice little feature to have with it. And I don't know, it's one of those attention to detail sort of things where it shows they actually cared about making the game really cool. So,
well, if we're going to talk about detail, then your ball is 2-dimensional, whereas the bullets are 3-dimensional. I kind of like that dichotomy. It kind of separates, you are not a bullet, you are the target, and that helps differentiate, because if I was 3-dimensional, I would get confused. So yes, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sound Dodger on adultswim.com. Free to play. Hopefully we'll see it on iOS relatively soon. Until then, hop on your PC or Mac and check it out.